As Grace grew, she became exactly what Ethan had prayed for and exactly what he feared, a little girl with my stubbornness and his silent determination. She learned to point before she learned to speak. One point from her chubby hand and Ethan moved faster than any employee had ever seen him move. I warned him he was spoiling her. He looked at Grace, then at me, and seemed unable to regret it. I understood. Love had made him helpless in the best way. The company changed too. People who once whispered about our contract marriage now treated us like an old love story. I heard versions of our past retold in absurd ways. Ethan had crossed oceans for me. I had ignored him because I was proud. Vivian had been a tragic interlude. Grace had healed everything. Reality was messier. We were not perfect lovers separated by fate. We were two frightened people who had understood each other, until a child forced the truth into the room. One afternoon, I visited Blackwood Group with Grace. The employees nearly melted. Ethan came out of a meeting at the wrong time and found his daughter sitting at his desk, smacking one palm against his keyboard. The room went silent, expecting him to mind. He only removed the laptop and gave her a safer notebook. Zach later said the entire company had witnessed the fall of a tyrant. Chloe said it was deserved.
Are you happy?
That evening, Ethan asked if I was happy. I knew the answer was not simple because happiness had grown from fear, jealousy, illness, apology, and waiting. But it was real. So I told him with my hand in his. Yes. Ava Reed, the girl who once believed she was only a contract wife, slowly became someone else. I stopped measuring myself against Vivian, against Ethan's imagined past, against the woman I thought he had loved more. I began to trust the evidence of my own life, the way he looked for me first in every room, the way his hand found mine in public, the way he still woke when I shifted at night. Ethan changed too, though he would never announce it. He spoke more, not much, but enough that people noticed. Mrs. Blackwood said her son had finally become human again.
You deserved an award for thawing a glacier.
Ethan ignored him, which was close to agreement as Zach would ever receive. Sometimes, in quiet hours, I thought of college. If I had lifted my eyes from those ridiculous stories, would I have seen him waiting? Would we have loved sooner? Or would we have ruined it by being too young, too proud, too unsure? There was no way to know. The necklace stayed in my jewelry box till Ethan asked why I did not wear it more often.
Why don't you wear it more often?
I said it reminded me of lost time. He said nothing, only fastened it around my neck himself. His fingers brushed my skin. The old years no longer felt stolen. They felt folded beneath the present, part of the road that led here. Grace toddled into the room, reached for the pendant. Ethan caught her hand gently. No new words were needed. In his eyes I saw the same vow he had spoken through action since the beginning. He would protect what he loved, even if he had learned too late how to say it. Chloe and Zach married before Grace turned 2. Their wedding was loud, chaotic, and absolutely them. Zach cried before the vows. Chloe threatened to leave if he ruined her makeup by making her cry too, with less silence than we had used. I sat beside Ethan, Grace asleep against his chest, and watched our friends stumble into the future.
I finally understood why you had forgiven so much confusion with Ethan.
In that moment, I thought of all the letters we'd written, all of the words unsaid, but looking at him now, I knew it was all worth it. I corrected her in my heart. I had not forgiven confusion. I had forgiven fear, after the truth proved his love had always been there. There was a difference. At the banquet, Zach thanked Ethan for teaching him persistence. Ethan said nothing, but his expression suggests that if persistence meant begging publicly, Zach was on his own. I laughed until Grace stirred. Vivian sent congratulations through a mutual contact. She was healthy enough to work again and had stayed abroad. I wished her peace. The bitterness that once tightened my chest at her name had faded. She had been part of the misunderstanding, but not the root of it. The root had been Ethan's silence and my insecurity. That night, after we returned home, Ethan carried a sleepy Grace upstairs. I followed with my heels in one hand, thinking of how different the word home felt now. It was no longer the place where a contract waited to expire. It was a place full of cups of warm water, tiny shoes, unfinished toys, and a man who said love aloud.
Are you tired?
I asked him whether he was tired. He looked at Grace, then at me, and shook his head. Of course he would. Ethan Blackwood never admitted exhaustion when the people he loved were in his arms.